Wait, do I start when we, oh, we're recording now. I see.
We're recording. Sorry, I
Okay.
just had to find the button for it. Also, I guess.
Okay, so I'm not gonna start sharing my screen just yet. Um, yeah, before we get started, I would love to have some. Oh wait, am I sharing my screen? No.
Not that I can see.
It says host as disabled screen sharing.
Oh, that would be me. Sorry about that. Give me a sec. Does
Okay.
anyone know how I change that?
I think it might be on your screen share button or on the bottom right corner. Is it under videos?
Sorry,
No,
folks. Someone else set up this call. So let me quickly see if I can find it.
Is there a little option on your green share screen button?
There is an option, but it's only to do with my, if I were to share my screen. Oh, this is fun troubleshooting with everyone here. Sorry.
While you're figuring that out, maybe I could get some introductions.
Sure, yeah, that'd be great.
People could just tell me what they're doing and their programming experience level, or just what got you interested in game development. We'll start with Kay Carmichael.
Hi, I have absolutely no programming experience. I'm a storyboard artist for animation and film. I'm here because Dorian's my housemate.
That's awesome. And
I'll go next, just because I take full responsibility for that. I am in games, but I'm not a programmer. I've made stuff in Construct 2 previously. So I'm actually a real fan of Construct as a thing that enables you to make things when you're not necessarily a programmer, and allows like artists to be more independent. So I'm very happy being here and seeing more of this happening.
Okay. Hey, Dorian.
Hey.
And next is Jean-Luc.
Hi, I'm Jean-Luc. I have done 1 year of programming at UCT. And after that, since the start of this year, I've been at Vega, where we'll be doing basic programming again. So it's basically just 1 year at UCT. And I have not made a game before, and I'm really interested in game design and development from mainly a design perspective, but second to that is coding. Coding is really fun. But I still want to make a game, and I'm not good enough at coding yet to do that in other platforms. So here I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Jean-Luc. Next is Mohammed.
Hi guys. I am currently studying game design at WITS. I have no programming experience.
Okay. Awesome. And Ryan.
Hi, so I have 2 years of Java experience and 1 year of SQL. And I'm interested in game development as well as programming in general. And yeah, I'm currently studying at Vega with Jean-Luc. We're in the same class. Yeah.
That's awesome. And next, Sikulile.
Hi everyone. So I've been working with games in Unity and Unreal Engine. I program in C#, and I also do web development in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And I've done structured query language before. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. So that should be everyone. And it seems that we have such a vast array of programming experiences and backgrounds here. All right. I'm going to assume, well, even if you haven't, people have their construct account set. If not, you can go to www.construct.net and create an account. While we're still waiting for screen sharing to be enabled, you can go ahead and create an account, and they have an introductory, what's it called? A beginner's tutorial, an absolute beginner's tutorial. It's very quick and it just shows you how to add things for a top-down game. But what I'm going to be covering will be a bit outside that, or around that, outside, around that. And yeah, so, and also, oh, I guess I should introduce myself. That's the slide. Well, I'm Sithe, that's all I was going to say. I mostly have experience with organizing game jams and some, well, programming experience, yes. Java, Android, some Unity for projects, but most of what I do, if I ever do a game jam, I usually go to Construct. Okay, looks like I can share my screen now. Oops. If I ever, let's see, am I screen sharing now? Can you guys see my screen?
No, not at the moment.
No, yes. Well, it's coming. There
Yeah.
All right. So I don't have, so I do really basic games with Construct. That's when I've ever done games, I've only used Construct game jams because it's really quick to work with. Some of my jam games I hear, they're really bad. They're really bad jam games, but most of the stuff was made within hours. And yeah, the thing is, Construct is very beginner friendly. And it's also great for, I think Construct is really great for game design. Sorry, let me just move this. You can't see it, but the thing is blocking me. All right. Yeah, so Construct is really good for prototyping and making quick games and getting your ideas out there really fast. In fact, if you go into Construct, if you go into Construct, on your left, you have a bunch of templates that you can actually get, and even full games here that you can get really nice ideas for. But yeah, when we get started, I'm going to show you guys how to make a basic game, like really, really basic game, just so you get familiar with adjusting the properties and how Construct works. And then I'll show you how to adjust the, well, I guess work with some of the templates and, you know, get your own game ideas out of there. Usually the most fun part about working with the templates is how easy it is to work with the physics. So that's why I made this workshop focused on the physics part. So yeah. Yeah, so does everyone have their Construct account ready? I don't know how to make sure I can check that. How do I check that?
Yes. Well, I'm on the front page of it, and it's letting me choose things like new projects and so on.
Okay.
Yep, I'm in as well.
All right, that's good. Let's see, Mohammed. I'll just call your names out. I think I can remember all your names by now.
Ready?
Mohammed, Sikulila.
I'm still setting it up.
Okay, cool. Yeah, once you get started, depending on the style of game you want, you can really choose any of these.
Anything that would make sense to go for today.
Yeah, anything that would make sense for what you would like to go for.
I think
Okay,
they
but
were-
you know what we're aiming for.
Oh, I know.
Ish.
Yeah, okay, choose SD43 landscape.
Okay.
So new project ST43 landscape.
Yeah. You can name it whatever you want, simple game.
Huh. 4, 3, and 3, 4. That's nice of them.
Kind of makes good logic sense. So you can have the, like for a workshop, because you can have the toolbars on the side and not like compromise, not have to scroll around to see your whole space.
Yes.
If you have a wider monitor, that is.
What happened to my toolbar? Did yours load with a toolbar? Did I disable this? When I
Yeah,
moved?
mine loaded with a properties bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine did
Mhm.
Where did
properties
mine
and
go?
project on each side.
Where did mine go?
And this is the trouble with things that work in browsers. When they don't work, you don't know how to make them go.
I think I disabled it when I left last time I tried this. Okay, hold on. But anyway, who is still trying to get their construct account set?
Under menu, view, bars, properties.
There. Menu, view. Oh, great. Ah, yes, thank you.
It's
Thank you,
only because
Dorian.
you're hosting. You can't multitask at that brain level. It's fine.
Yeah.
You're not,
And you know,
speaking of
yeah.
hosting, you're not shared, by the way.
And I realized before this, I was working on slides. There are slides there, but then I was like, this is going to be a mess if I try to work with slides the whole time. So I have things written on paper, and I'll be talking through that. All right, so who is still trying to get this set up?
They're in there.
All
I think
right,
everyone's in. I haven't heard from Ryan though.
okay. Ryan, are you good? Right?
Hi,
You good?
yeah, sorry, I'm good. Yeah, I was just trying to find the unmute button because something was going on with my Zoom app.
Okay,
My
no
bad.
problem. All right.
Hey.
I'll be checking on you guys like every 10 minutes or so. But okay, so let's get started. We're about 20 minutes into this and we have 2 hours. That should be enough time. So when you open up Construct, as soon as you open it up, as soon as you start your new game, you will have, your area will have properties bar to the left and your project and layers bars to the right. But also the tabs which open up in the background, you have a tab for your layout and a tab for your event sheet. So your layout is going to be where you put all your game objects. And when we're putting the game objects, when we're adding different behaviors and whatnot, we're going to work with the properties tab here. So here's where we'll be adding all the visual elements, I guess. And the programming part of Construct works with events. So yeah, Construct works with an event-based system. Very much like if you've ever used Scratch or any other type of block programming, you add the logic in blocks, which makes it really accessible. And it's actually, I mean, I've been using it for years and they've been adding a lot more stuff, lots and lots of stuff. They've added a whole bunch of different stuff. If you're using the free account, I think you have a limit of 50 events, and that sounds like a little, but you can actually do quite a lot with it, especially if you take advantage of the properties, because there is a lot of stuff which you can avoid coding by just implementing the properties. And yeah, you're gonna see how that works in a bit. So yeah, all right, let me get back to this slide. So for the next 2 hours, this is what we're gonna be doing. First, getting started with making games in Construct, adding and editing behaviors, and basic platformer behaviors and physics. So we're going to start all this right here in the simple game with a one layout, I guess, physics room, a one layout room. where you can have the basic behavior of the game. So when you want to add objects in Unity, sorry, did I say Unity? In Construct, all you have to do is double click. So if you double click, it asks you what type of object you want to add. And you have a whole bunch of different types of objects here, including controls. But what the most common thing you're going to be adding will be sprites. So I would like you to double click and add a sprite. You can change the name to player here. And nothing will show, but as soon as you click, it'll open up an editor for you to add the animations of your sprite. And we're going to work with this a bit later on. So for now, don't worry about having really simple objects. So what I want you to do is draw the most basic thing you can. This is going to be one frame of your character that you're going to add to the game. But just make it really basic because we're going to replace it. So on the left here, you will see all sorts of editing tools you can use to draw. So you can use whatever you want, change the color here. This is a new color editor, that's nice. So you can draw whatever you want here. This is just for the sake of showing you guys stuff. I would never do this for an actual game. Maybe. And when you have an animation, oh, sorry, yes, someone has a question.
I was just gonna say I totally would, but that's because I'm primarily an artist. No, I get distracted by the art. So by keeping it really, really basic, I'm able to like focus on the game longer. I don't know. To me, that is the best kind of art. Is art that doesn't make you even think it might be real.
Yeah, and that's actually a good point, because like, especially when you're prototyping a game, like right now, it's good to work with just have basic stuff where it's designed, because like you can always replace the art. So yeah, so for now, add your little anything here. And the only thing you need to worry about besides what it looks like right now is a property here at the very bottom called the collision polygon. So if you click that, it'll show 4 squares. And what this basically will be, this is where if anything touches your object, basically where you're telling the computer where your player's body is. So if you go to this crop button here, and you just click it once, it'll make sure everything is squeezed within a bounding box for your sprite. So I'm just showing you guys this now. Oh, are there questions here? I have load shedding at 8.
Yeah, Ryan just said you get load shed.
Oh, I hope I don't get load shedding, but I have data, so if I do, I think I will be able to continue. All right. Yeah, so this is your bounding box for any of your sprites. You're going to see this work later on. For now, just all you have is this little character, and when you're ready, or when you've made your character and added a bounding box, just press the cross and you'll have a little person over here. And you just made your first sprite. And if you want to adjust the size, well, yeah, I hold shift, by the way, when you're resizing it, but just change the size to whatever you want right now.
Sorry, I missed that. What button do I press to finish? I looked away for a second and I missed it.
Just press the cross button in the corner. Just exit.
Okay, just close it. Okay, awesome.
Cool. Yeah, and then it'll add your little character. And just for the fun of it, not the fun of it, but let's also add a door. So I want you to go through the same process of creating a sprite, double click, and add a door. Double click, add a sprite.
FYI, navigation is helped by Control Scroll to zoom in and out, and then middle mouse button to pan. Just discovered.
Thank you. Yeah, and you can draw a door or whatever, however you like. Whatever color you want it to be. And Control Z is undo, by the way. It has all the, I think most of the stuff is really like common controls for things. Does anyone know if there's, if you can undo things in Twine yet?
Undo things in what?
Twine. It's another game engine for visual novels. Can you imagine not being able to undo, not being able to press Control Z to undo? I don't know if they have that now. All right, so add a box.
Sithe, sorry to interrupt you. How did you get your lines so straight?
Oh,
or is it
okay.
like a
So
box? Are you using the box?
yeah, I was using the box.
I got it. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Terribly wobbly lines.
It's fine. You can have your lines however wobbly for this. Yeah, so just add a door anywhere. Actually, I'll say put it in the top right. It'll make sense later. Right, so at the moment, all you have is a door and a player. And if you were to press play, or the preview button, which is play up there, it will open another little browser. Mine probably isn't showing on screen. I'll have to share my full screen. Let's see. And if you press play, it'll open another little browser and have your game. But of course, you can't really do anything yet. These are as good as just little drawings stuck together. It's as good as an MS Paint thingy right now. But we're going to change that by changing some properties. So this is the A part where you get to see how beginner friendly Construct is, how quick you can do things in Construct. So by the way, I'm hoping everyone is just following right now. If you're behind, just send a message in the chat. Right, so if you click your player, you see the properties on the left change. And what I want you to do is click on behaviors. And another little screen will pop up. And click add new behavior. And you have a bunch of behaviors here, but what you want right now is to add some movement to your player. So go to aids direction for movement and add that as a behavior. And if you add that, and press play, you can now move your character. My screen probably isn't showing, right? Let me fix that. Oh,
Sorry,
it was.
where do you go to add behaviors?
So click your player, and then the properties tab will show. Oh, the properties in the properties tab on the left, in the properties bar on the left, there is a behaviors here, and there is a section that says add or edit edit, and you can add behaviors here. And when you click behaviors, it'll show a list of player behaviors. If you don't have anything, it'll be empty. And you can click add new behavior. And then you select 8 direction for movements. Or under movement, you select 8 direction.
I love this game. My player goes upwards, sideways.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and yeah. So yeah, just like that, you do have your really simple player movements. And yes, it's moving around like, I don't even know what to call it, but yeah, well, we're moving
Like
around.
an animation from Sesame Street.
Yeah. And when we can go, well, depending on what order your door is, you'll either go behind or in front of the door. But we can actually change that to make sure you don't go through the door. Let's see the, yeah, you have created life. Yeah, so right now you have your basic 8 direction movement, and this is what you would need. Like if you're making a top-down game, of course this would be perfect. But we're not making a top-down game. We're actually we want our character to be able to move around and jump. We're gonna try and make this more of a platformer. So first, what I want you to do is, no, not quite yet. So I want you to make a ground for your players to walk on. So this will be really easy. Add a sprite again, the way we did last time. And you can name your sprite ground. And click. And you can just add a little whatever colored rectangle you want. It can be black, brown, blue. Just a little thin rectangle like that. And don't forget to add the bounding box properly. Or don't forget to crop the bounding box. This will be important. So you'll have the ground over here. And just stretch it at the bottom of the screen. Yeah, so you'll have your player floating here. And let's change the behavior. So in your behaviors, I want you to delete the 8 direction behavior. And I want you to add, add a platform behavior. So the platform behavior, let's see. The platform behavior will basically add it basically adds everything you need for a platform character. But if you'd like to try something else interesting, you can also add physics. But I think since this is a short workshop, let's just go straight to the platform behavior. So just add the platform behavior. And if you look at the properties that get added in the properties bar, you can see things like max speed, acceleration, deceleration, jump strength, gravity. So all these are properties which you would need for a platform, for a character in a platformer type game. Yeah. And I'm guessing if we press play, they may or may not fall through everything. So let's see what happens after you add the platform behavior and press play. Please fall through everything. Oh yeah, he just fell through. So the reason why our character fell through is that we've added the physics, but the character doesn't have anything to interact with. So, yep, you killed him. So the character doesn't have anything to interact with, or rather the character can't recognize these these other objects we added don't have behaviors, so there are no rules for its interaction with our player. So the property which you want to add for the ground is a solid property. So I'd like you to add the solid property to the ground, or the solid behavior, sorry, solid behavior. And once you add that, you should be able to just fall on the ground and actually jump around. And
Alistair,
hey, what's up?
I think I missed the cropping of the collider.
All right, for which thing?
For the ground.
All right, so if you have your ground there, you can just double click it, and maybe it'll be here, but click at the bottom in this tab here, it will say edit collision polygon. And
okay.
if you want everything to just fit right around that, go up here and you have this this little crop transparent edges. So just click that and everything will come right in there.
Okay, thanks.
Awesome. Right. Yeah. So we added the collision boundaries, and yeah, now we have rules for it interacting with the ground. Yep. But we might still accidentally run off screen and still die like this. Like, yeah, I fell down. So another behavior you can add to prevent this on your player is bound to layout. So if you add this behavior, our player won't be able to fall off screen. Yeah. Other similar behaviors to this would be the destroy outside layout. That might be for example, if you have something which should not be alive when it's off the screen. Example, particles. You don't want to generate too many particles like bullets or whatever. Anything which goes off screen, just so that the game isn't keeping track of it. What else is there? Wrap. What game uses wrap? Oh, wrap is like snake, like for snake, you know, when you go off one edge of the screen. In fact, you can actually try this behavior. Generally with construct, I totally recommend just trying out these behaviors for whatever you want, because you can end up with like some really cool ideas for games. Let's see how this works. I'm just hoping it works the way I'm thinking it'll work. Oh no, it doesn't. I'm guessing because actually, I'm not gonna guess why. Because I might be lying. Oh, let me see this. Ah, okay, that works. So yeah, with the wrap, I changed it from wrap to layout to wrap to viewport, because the layout is actually this whole thing. And the viewport is the square where we're viewing. So when I said wrap to layout, it went off on the other edge and there is no ground there. I think if we made the ground longer, it might come back on the other side, but otherwise it just died and went off the cliff. But typically, yeah, so typically what I would recommend is if you're interested in exploring different properties, if you're just curious about properties, you can just add the behaviors and you can remove them right afterwards once you're done experimenting with them. It's honestly, I think it's a really cool way to come up with ideas for your game jam. For your game jam game. But yeah, so the behavior which I wanted to add though was bound to layout. So we wouldn't be able to leave the layout. And yeah, I'll probably change it. Or bound by edge. All right. Though it would I would probably be able to leave the layout from that side because the layout is bigger than the viewport on the right side. So it doesn't really matter too much. Anyway, so what I want to add next is a way to get to the door. So we have simple platformer behavior. Everything is here, the jumping and the running. And also, if you would like to adjust some settings here, like for example, if you'd like to add a double jump, which is pretty common, although I don't think it makes sense in physics, you can add a double jump simply by adjusting the properties here. If you would like gravity to be lower, you can change it here. If you'd like gravity to be higher, you can change it here. If you would like to reduce the fall speed, you can adjust it here. You turn the jump bar way too high. Yeah. And yeah, if you'd like to adjust the fall speed, you can do that here. A lot of the fun stuff that comes with Construct, yeah, is adjusting the properties and playing around with that. Because even just, oh, look at that. A simple change of the jump speed. I don't know what this could be. This could be like someone who, I don't know, a flying squirrel or someone with a parachute dress or something falling down. But yeah, you can get a whole bunch of ideas from this stuff. And now, yeah, make sure you have your, okay, for the next part, make sure you have decent settings. You have what might be considered normal platformer settings, because next I would actually like you to add platforms that you can jump on. So, all right, we have our simple settings, but in order to get to the door, I want you to be able to jump on some things, so that you can get to the door. So I'd like you guys to make some platforms. So you only have to make one, and you can copy and paste it. And the properties will actually stay the same for this. So go to Sprite, add a new Sprite, call it a platform. Click here, same process as we did for making the ground, but use a different color so that you can differentiate it. I'm going with blue. Don't forget to edit the collision polygon. And you should have a platform. You should be able to get a platform here. And to duplicate this, you can just Control-C, Control-V, and click. You can add as many as you want, by the way. Add as many as you want, wherever you want. Oh, and one underneath the door, of course. One has to be underneath the door, because it only makes sense. Right. And now if you press play, again, these platforms have no properties, so they will just be right over there. And if you remember the property we used for the ground, we used the solid property. So I'd like you to add the solid property to one of the platforms, or all of the platforms. Let's see. I'm just checking. If I remember correctly, when you add it to one platform, it should affect all the platforms since you copy and pasted them. I guess kind of like a prefab from Unity if you have tried Unity. And when you add the solid behavior, see, press play. Yeah, so it applies to all the platforms there. And I can jump around on these little platforms. But this is a little clumsy. This isn't exactly the type of behavior you have in a platformer. You want to be able to jump on this from the bottom. So the property that fits that, or the behavior that fits that, is actually a behavior called jump through. So you would want to remove the solid behavior and add the jump through behavior instead. By the way, if you're ever working on, if there's ever a game property, like a common game property, and you have no idea how to figure it out, you can go to the construct forums. Let's see, where are the forums again? Oh yeah, community forums. And if you search, someone probably has asked this. Usually, like I don't think I've ever not been able to find an answer here. So if you're stuck on anything, you can go there. Because Construct pretty much has all the common game behaviors, and they're easier to implement than you might think. So if you're having trouble with something, or you might need to play with a few things like variables and events, but there will definitely be a way for you to do the thing you want. All right, so after adding the jump through behavior, if you press play, you should have this nice, you can walk through your platforms and you can actually jump through them as well, as jump through would imply. Oh yeah, so now I'm bound to the layout. Right, so that's some of the basic platform behavior. And if you would like to make your thing go, the layout order for this, if you'd like this to be in the back as opposed to moving in front of your player, you can change the Z order over here and send to the bottom of the layer. Is there a fall through setting? What? So, oh, like if you were to press down on a platform. I think you may have to
I don't think it's built into any of the behaviors, but you probably do something where you disable your collision momentarily or something.
Yeah, so there's no setting for that, but you can probably, work with events to make that happen. Once we start working with events, I think you'll be able to figure out how to do that. All right. So, yeah. Oh wait, I didn't change the Z order of everything. Cool, yeah. I am just pressing Control Select and sending everything to the back quickly.
You have to disable the solid
yes,
to get the jump through.
Yeah, you have to disable the solid to get the jump through.
Okay.
So next, okay, I'm going to remove the bounds to layout behavior because it might get annoying when I'm jumping really high. But yeah. All right. So next, what we want something to happen when we touch the door. So I'm going to show you guys the event system. So basically for the event, when you want something to happen, when you want an event to happen, I don't know how best to describe it, but if you want an event to happen, if you want something to happen, when something is triggered, you do that in the event system rather than with the property. So events is more like interacting when things are interacting with each other. So for example, let's say we want the player to die when they touch the door. So if you go to your event sheet, and you're going to add your first event. So click add event, and we want when our player, so the first object you select is player, and player on collision with another object. Yeah, that's a pretty common one. So on collision with another object, and we get to choose the object, let's say the door. So we want something to happen when our player collides with the door. Let's just let our player disappear. So destroy would be the property you want. And if you actually play that, as soon as we collide with the door, we will die, just like that. So that's a really, really simple event you can create. And also, you can actually make a series of events happen after collision, after a condition is satisfied. So for example, if we don't want to get destroyed immediately, you can have things like wait 2 seconds. Let's see. Wait 2 seconds. So wait, and it asks how long we want to wait. Maybe 2 seconds, or and then we die. And you put that right before here. Everything will happen. Oh, or drag this down here. Everything will happen in this order. So now we'll die after 2 seconds, 2 seconds after touching the door. And if rather than destroying the player, because I mean, I don't know why a door would destroy you, maybe you want to have some win text show up. So there is a if you want to add text, you would use text as opposed to sprite for now. Let's just add some win text here. And click here. And if we double click, we can change it to you win. And if you look at the properties, you can change this however you like, show it to the center. And also, since we want this to show up only after the player wins, we want this to be invisible when we start. So there's a property here called initially visible, and we're going to set this to off. And here, you can keep the destroy if you want, if you would like to see events happening simultaneously. But I'd like you to add an action that makes the win text visible. So here in the same line of, in the same event. I think it is set visible. yeah, set visible. Also, I don't know how this is showing on your screens, but is it showing how many events you have left? Anyone?
It is on mine, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it showed
on the
for mine
free
as
one.
well.
How many events do you have left?
24.
24.
Right. So
24.
this is, yeah, so this is all one event. Imagine this is, you can do all this with one event. Like, so even if you have, yeah, like I said, 25 events might seem like a little, but you can see just how much you can actually do if you take advantage of the properties.
If you log in, you can get 40 for free as well. So 40 events is a lot. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. It didn't remember my login.
Yeah, it also
I'm
did
sure I
that for me.
was. Okay.
It also did
This
that
is
for me.
so
I had to log in
cool.
twice. But yeah, once you get this done, wait 2
Started
seconds.
adding obstacles and definitely not on brief.
Yeah. So just like that, this is like a really, I guess, simple game. It's all the platformer behavior we will need for a one-room platform game. And you mostly did it through the properties, which is really nice. So you can get games going pretty fast if you use Construct. Yeah. So has everyone been able to do this? Get up to here before we move on to the next part.
Negative gravity makes you fall upwards. I enjoy this.
Oh yes. Yeah, there's so much cool stuff to play with here. Yeah. I highly recommend, yeah, fooling around with physics because that's what the session is
That's
for.
the name of the workshop.
Yeah.
And I'm wrapping around the viewport as well, so I'm just falling
Oh,
indefinitely.
oh my gosh, I think I did something like that.
I just put a sine wave on all my platforms, and now they're
Oh,
they're moving
oh, cool,
about.
you've already done that. You've already done that.
Oh, sorry. I just remember that as like a platformer staple, so
Yeah,
it's quite fun. Yay!
we did. And yeah, that was one of the later things. But yeah, you can experiment with that now if you want. If you'd like to make moving platforms, add the sign behavior. And I wish they taught math with this, because when you learn about trigonometry, sine, cosine, tan, they all seem so boring. But like when you realize the cool stuff you can do with this. Let's see, movement horizontal. Yeah. You
I
can
have
add
that
sine
opinion about school in general. Both language and maths can be taught through game making. And it's pretty natural if you consider like kids learn through play anyway. Like, why is this not basically the curriculum?
Yeah. And it's so interesting. It's so much better. Let's see. Okay, I want to fool around with this for a few seconds.
Sorry, how did you make the platforms float like that?
So if you add in your behaviors, add the sign behavior. So the sign, yeah, will make it move in a cycle. In any cycle, there will be a bunch of behaviors or a bunch of properties for the sign behavior. With the movement, by default, it's horizontal, but you can make it change other stuff, like vertical will have it move up and down. Forwards and backwards, I'm not sure what that would be. We can see that right now. Okay, it looks pretty much like left and, oh, wait, there's some offset. Oh, I think because I added one random thing for one of them, maybe. But yeah, you can change, I don't even know, it's just fun. Yeah, you can change this behavior forwards and backwards, width, height, even size. And you can have this behavior, like it's pretty cool stuff which you can even have like for animations, because imagine these could be like clouds hanging around, or you could have grass moving like this and stuff like that. So yeah, this is pretty interesting, and it retains all the properties. So like I can fall through this here. Yeah, so much interesting stuff you can add to your game. So all right, I guess before I move on, I'll just like people to add the sign behavior just to make things more interesting.
I kind of missed the where you add the delay to the door, like the character dying when they hit the door.
Okay. All right, so on your event sheet, when you add an action, add action and go to system. And if you go at the bottom, it has time, and select wait, and you can wait for however many seconds before an action. And then when you add this, just drag it to the top so that your events are ordered like this.
Okay.
And that should work. All right. And next, is everyone okay?
This is really cool.
All right, so what I want you guys to do next, so next what we're going to be doing is we're going to import an art asset or import art assets. If you'd like to use someone else's assets, because I mean, if you're designing a game, it doesn't mean you have to do everything. You know, there's character art all over. And you can have someone else do your character art. You can use some free to use assets online. So I'd like you guys to go to itch.io and well, actually go to the specific person's itch graphics kit. That would be graphicskid.itch.io. Let me find the thing. Yeah, graphicskid.itch.io, and download any Sprite pack. It will just be it will just come with some PNGs. So whatever you like. I don't know what that is, but it looks, oh, a robot, cute robots. But yeah, get any character, any sprite sheets you want, sprite packs you want. Don't forget to credit the person you get them from. Did I get? Oh, okay. Yeah, when you're putting the credits up for your game, if you use someone else's assets, don't forget to credit them and make sure you're allowed to use them. Right. So earlier on, which ones did I get? Earlier on, I got a pumpkin. No, it was an orange, not a pumpkin. So, no, I think I'll add another character. I'm just testing this out. Don't copy what I'm doing. Okay, that's fine. Oh my gosh, it's tiny. I don't know if this will be a bad idea or a good idea. Oh, shame, he's blurry.
Okay, so what are we replacing the art we have with a
Yeah, you're gonna, yeah.
P?
Sorry. Just checking if this works. If it'll work with something so tiny, because I noticed his sprites are tiny, or their sprites are tiny. And I'm wondering if they'll look okay. I just want to see the blurry.
I think you can change that somewhere in the project settings. There's a sampling under display, which is set to trilinear if you don't set it to. So second from the bottom, project properties.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, click through there. It's the fourth section down. It's got sampling. I think if you turn that off, you can get pixel art to be sharp by switching to nearest.
Okay, let's try that. Thank you, Dorian.
Okay.
What does it mean?
Nearest neighbor is a thing we use in Photoshop, which is like, instead of trying to guess the color between 2 pixels, which is how you end up with blurry, it just goes, what's the closest pixel to accurate? I'll make this pixel that pixel's color. So sometimes it makes things look wobbly if they're like an angle or something, but for art like this that's already animated in a specific size, it helps to just switch to nearest if you want it to not be blurry on a upscale.
Right, thank you.
Okay.
It might have also been affected because I think I chose smoothing or something, but we'll see. All right, so let's see who's. So it's like turning off anti-aliasing, yes, or slightly different. All right, so we're gonna be. So does everyone have some pixel art to use?
Yes.
All right.
Oh, I've got.
And mine's very, very tiny.
Cool.
Yep.
We'll work with it. We'll figure out how to work with it. Yeah, I also have my tiny little orange guy. So you have all these animations, and you can actually import these pretty nicely. Oops, sorry, someone's talking.
I'm just answering the question about anti-aliasing.
Oh, okay, cool, thank you. Right, so now we're gonna have to, I guess, add some flair, motion, whatever, to our game. We're gonna import these art assets. So on the right here, you'll see underneath animations, here's where you put all the different types of animation your character will have. For example, the idle standing animation, the walking animation, the ducking animation, all that type of stuff. So we're gonna import our little pumpkin guy. So this is gonna be our standing animation. You can rename it here if you want. Actually, yes, rename it just so you know what it is. So standing. And to import a character, if it's a single frame, you can load. you can load an image directly here. So since for standing, you probably just have one frame, so you can click load an image from file right next to clear on top here, and go to wherever your character is and click standing, and it'll replace the current image. And this is where you can resize your character. Okay, I'm not going to choose smooth. And I think 128 should be a decent size.
I'm getting an error that's not letting me import because it says it's a PNG and is telling me to start by using a PNG. I'm a bit confused. Figure out.
So,
It's worrying.
So it wasn't a PNG to begin with? That's strange.
It is a PNG, but it's. Do you know what? I'll.
Try,
Wait, I
try
didn't
and
import this. What? Sorry.
try and
Yeah.
import it using a new. Try and make a new character.
Yeah, I'll
and
make a
from
new
the
player.
beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, and from the beginning import it like that. Let's see. I am wondering why the collision box is like that. You know what? I'll leave it like this. It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. So you have your standing little thingy here. And if we go out, yeah, looks
Oh, so cute.
all right. Yeah, it's tiny and cute.
Mine's invisible.
This is
Sithe,
a
wait,
game.
how did you change
ants.
the size of that sprite? You just
All right.
remind me.
All right, so next to crop, you have these arrows going out, resize.
Right.
So you can select resize and just change it to however you want, whatever
Cool.
size you would like your character. Yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome. And
Kay, you said yours was invisible. Could it be that you've got multiple animations and you're like not looking at the one that's got content, maybe?
No, I mean it's so small it's practically invisible. So
Oh, okay.
oh,
Okay.
yeah,
I was like, oh no, you lost your art.
I'm struggling with the resize.
Yeah, the image editor is really, really basic, so it does have a bit of a thing. You win.
The thing.
I don't look like a winner. I look paralyzed with fear. Yeah. All right, so did everyone manage to change one of their thingies? Change their standing animation?
I haven't, but that's because my art assets are unzipping. I'll catch
Oh, no
up with you.
All right, let me just ask how everyone's doing. Right? Wait, Ryan said load shedding.
Still struggling with the sizing.
Sikulele?
I've downloaded my sprites, but I need to locate a sprite that is not bundled into animation. So the ones that I downloaded, I've got a whole bunch of animation like breathing fire and stuff. So I need to re-download something that has got a symbol.
Oh, okay. So none of them are simple, like.
Yeah, the one that I downloaded didn't have a simple standing animation.
Okay.
There we go.
Not a standing pause, not animation.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm downloading another one, so I'll be done in a sec.
Okay, cool. Mohammed?
Everything's going very well. It's actually quite easy.
Awesome. Glad you think so. And I hope you'll participate in the game jam.
Sent a screenshot of what's going on my end. It says that
Oh, let's see.
fungusidle.png is not in a format construct supported by construct image/png. Try converting it to a PNG.
Okay, so I managed to get mine to a normal size, but it is very
It should-
anti-age and fuzzy.
Should come up just now.
On the side of a pin.
So I'm a little bit confused.
I wonder if possibly because there's a space in the name. I'm just
Maybe.
wondering.
Okay.
Try
yeah,
it, just
I'll
try
try
that.
remove that.
All right. So. We are perfectly on schedule. This is lovely.
I think I did it.
You think?
Yay.
So it was possibly the space thing? No?
No, I tried something else, but it might have been the space thing. I don't know. I should have tested that first. I just need to add all my behaviors back to my player.
I got this Kenny asset pack. It's one of the ones I hadn't seen before, and it's got a like chunk of stuff, which is like 150 asset of platformer characters, and there's platforms and doors, all kinds of things in here. But the characters there are 5 pre-made characters. They are player, who's a white dude, female, who's also white.
Is it? I'm assuming it's still.
It's just like, I'm like, okay, I'm just going to look around a little more. Okay, there's adventurer, who is a white dude with stubble. And then there's zombie, who's bright. Yeah, that's the one. And then the one guy, yeah, he's soldier. That's his name, soldier.
You know what? I can't
I want
even say.
to throw them all in the trash, but I'm also not surprised.
I can't even, I was looking earlier for game assets to download, and I can't even say though what I found. Like, I was just like, wow, bye. I was looking for African game assets, and I found slave, and I was just
Oh
like,
God,
okay, bye,
that's gross.
like bye. And it was like, it was supposed to be, and it was like in a cutesy type thing, and I'm just like, like something which was supposed to be for a kids game, and I'm like,
Yeah, how do you
no,
make
man.
slavery cutesy?
Yeah, I was just like, no, man.
Is that the game, to make slavery cute?
All right, does everyone have a character or standing simple standing character? So what I was showing you with this was just adding one little, changing one image. But now I would like to show you guys how you can add actual animations. Because I'm sure, well, depending on where you have your sprite sheets, you might have stuff like these walking sprite sheets or kicking sprite sheets, which have like 6 little things in a row. Right, now this is gonna be, I guess, fun, maybe fun. So when you're editing your character, I'd like you to create a new animation. So right click under the animations section and add a new animation. It'll be like animation 1. Rename it to walking. And you're gonna add a walking animation or any type of movement animation, by the way. If you chose a dragon or a fairy, you can still use that. But right click here where it says in the frame section at the bottom, where there's the 0 and nothing, right click there and choose import frames and choose from strip. And then you'll be able to select one of these strips. So I'll choose the walking, and you can specify how many cells there are. And yeah, 6, that's right. Place entire animation, yes. And if you import that, you should have, it should cut these up and actually put them in the animation cell, and you can click here if you want to preview it. Depends on what you got. And yeah, don't forget the same things apply as before. You can resize it. To fit properly. Apply to whole animation. Make sure you crop it. You crop the collision box. Oh, wait, will this work? I have a feeling this might not look so great. Oh no, it's perfect. No worries. It's actually perfect. So, yeah, if I press play, I can just see a short preview of this. But if you want your character to animate, again, this is something which you work with. This is something which is actually incorporated into platform behavior, but you have to add an event to trigger it. So when you go to the event system, so this is going to be our second event, player is moving. And if the player is moving, add action, player, and select set animation. And then this is where you put in your walking animation. So whatever you named your walking animation, hopefully you named it walking, you put it here. And let's see if that works. All right, sorry, I suspect I forgot to choose loop. So sorry, if you added the walking animation, make sure you select loop here underneath the animation properties. So it actually keeps walking. And if I press play, please work. Yeah, so I have a little moonwalking orange.
I'm aware.
Cute, eh?
Super cool.
Mm-hmm.
So sweet.
Yeah.
I've got this box here for parameters,
still-
or just one.
Yeah, that's Sipulena.
Yeah. So is the next animation going to be the one responsible for the exit of the loop? Since you are not working and the animation is still on, how do we use is there anything like the else? I'm used to the else statement in C#. How do we stop the loop?
All right, so I can show you that. So it's not about stopping the loop. I think so this animation was triggered and it's just not switching off. Okay. And you would play around with the events to change that. So there are actually a bunch of different ways to do this. I was experimenting with this earlier, and let's see. If you let's see. But some of these, okay, so some of these contradict each other, but maybe let's say on stopped. No, that's not right. Okay, let me try this. Maybe on stopped, and you can set the animation to standing. So there are actually a lot of different ways to work with this. I'm wondering if this will work. Let's see. Yeah, so if I move around and then I stop, it'll stop. But also you noticed it's staying in one place. I mean, it's staying facing one direction. So let me show you how I actually made this work better. How I actually made this work properly, like, facing left when I'm actually moving left, facing right when I'm moving right, and not walking when I'm walking, not walking when I'm not moving, etc., etc. So you can keep these two here. The platform is moving and set animation to walking, and platform on stop, set animation to standing. You can keep those like that. And what I'll do to change this is I would add a keyboard. So double click and add a keyboard as an input method so that we can actually control, so that we can react to button presses or key presses. So what we're going to do is when our player is moving left, we're going to flip the animation to the left. We're going to mirror the animation to the left. Rather than importing a whole new animation facing the other side, we can actually just mirror the animation. There is no default setting for that, but yeah, you'll see how we can do it here. So add keyboard. So you have a keyboard object in your game, and that means you can work with the keyboard in your event sheet. So this is also a point where I'm going to introduce variables, global variables. So if you right click here, you can add a global variable, and the global variables you add here would be stuff like, you can have numbers, you can have words, and if you want to have booleans, yeah, it's still numbers 1 and 0. So I'm going to have a global variable called facing left. So I would like you guys to add is facing left. Is facing left. So add a global variable called is facing left. And you want to add a description for yourself. If facing left, it will equal to 1. But by default, it'll be facing right. So initial value will be 0. So, yes?
Sorry, Sithe, I just wanted to check that. Is it under the event menu? So add,
Yeah,
add event system.
Oh, no, sorry. Event sheet, just
Yeah.
right click anywhere on the event sheet.
Got it.
And then add a global variable. Yeah.
Got it.
So we're going to use this variable to keep track of where we're going or where we're facing. And let's see. So since we added the keyboard, so we can add an event, let's see, with our keyboard. So go to add event keyboard, and on key pressed, yeah, on key press. So when we press left, when left is pressed, we're going to set is facing left to 1. So the trigger is keyboard, action is on key pressed, on left pressed, and you can edit the variable in system. So add system action, set value is facing left, set it to 1. And then do the same thing, but for is facing right. Well, if you press right, if you press right, set it back to 0. And then we're going to set a system event, well, to keep track of the variable. Well, the variable is always being kept track of, but add an event and system. And we're going to compare the variable. And if is facing left is equal to 1, what you want to do is change the player animation, well, not the player animation, sorry, mirror the appearance to set mirrored. And we're going to mirror our little player. And again, do the same for if is facing left is equal to 0. So again, system, compare variable, if facing left is equal to 0. And add an appearance action, set mirrored, not mirrored. Right, so these 6 events should make our player behave properly. Crossing my fingers. But yeah, okay, if I move left and stop, he's fine. If we move right and stop, he's fine. So yeah, so and I can jump in the right direction. And that adds a whole lot of, I don't know, pizzazz, whatever we can call it. Game feel, whatever we can call it. It makes it feel like a game.
That's so cool.
Prefer pizzazz. I think that's a better.
Pizzazz, yeah. So yeah, you have your little, yes. And this was nice. I mean,
I will be able to execute my bad ideas at an
yes.
exponentially faster rate. So yeah, this is
Right.
so cool.
You can do so much stuff with this really fast. Yeah, so
there is a problem I'm noticing. If you stand on a platform, the player counts as is moving, and so the run animation is played even though we're idle. But that's yeah, it's not too big of a deal.
Stan?
Yep.
I'm just thinking here. Please guide me. If we look at the player platform is moving, and then we're setting the animation to walking, can't we call in the global variable there in order to save our events by saying if, okay, this is me thinking in line of code. If player is and is facing right or is facing left, can't we combine events in one line? Is it possible?
Yes, we can. And actually, I think I know a cool way to do that, a better way to do to remove these. So what you can actually do is we can add those events here.
Okay.
Because if, oh, wait. Sorry. Were you talking about the mirrored parts or the walking and standing?
So I'm thinking like if is walking, I'm trying to say if the player is walking and
okay.
is right.
You can add multiple conditions.
Yeah, multiple conditions.
Okay, yeah. So what I think might be okay. So I was thinking in the same sort of the same line. So what I think you can do is
You can
you
double
can change.
you can
Yeah.
double click on where left of where it says add action,
Yeah, and
and then you can
change
add
this.
another.
Oh yes, here.
No, below there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Add another condition.
Which condition do you want me to
It
add?
was
Hmm.
like if the player isn't moving, or I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
You
there are
can set a
different ways to do
condition to
that.
being a not as well.
Yeah.
Right clicking on it, I
Yeah.
think you can set a condition to be a negative.
Hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out. So what I was thinking was this. Oops. Keyboard. Key is down. I wonder if this will work. It might not. And do the same for key. All right, there are probably a bunch of different ways you can do that. Sequelila, can you try out how you think it might work out, and just let me know if it works?
Okay.
Yeah, you can try. You can try to let me know if that works.
All right.
Because I might not be thinking the same way as you.
Okay.
I just broke mine.
It can always be fixed. But what did you do to yours?
So my character starts off like it's staying in the moving animation, which is fine because it drops down to the platform. But the moment I press the key to change direction, it disappears. And I
Your
can't.
character disappears.
Yeah, just like completely disappears. So it's like instead of mirroring is being destroyed or something. I'm not sure what's happening. I'll have to troubleshoot a little.
I've got something happening that this animation that I'm using, I made myself a long time ago, and for some reason the idle animation and the run animation are in two different sizes. So my run animation is 60 pixels high, and my idle animation is 120 pixels high. So whenever I stop moving, my character doubles in size.
Just stretches. Yeah.
Also, it's the side effect of being able to walk into platforms.
Yeah.
I think I know what might be happening with mine. I think one of my collision meshes is wrong and it's shoving it underneath the starting platform, basically. Something like that. I'll have to double check that. Could be the collisions.
Oh, and I think you can also add an else, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. So I don't know if someone asked about the else block, but you can add an else. Oh, but it counts as an event though. Does it?
Can't we add an else and then call the other animation, for example?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
Then we have a bunch of else.
It still counts as another thing though. But yeah, you can do that. You can definitely do that. If you have a programming background, you can probably play around with this really intricately. I'm not
events can also have sub events in them, which sometimes are like and blocks, and sometimes they can be or blocks or something. There's like it breaks down a little bit. It's not as visual as I'd like. Like you look at the event and you don't necessarily know which one it is on like just a glance. They're a bit tricky, but yes, it does have those it does have that capacity. It's a little outside of the scope of where we're at right now, though.
Yeah, it would be, I mean, well, yeah, and besides that, you can also have while and repeat loops here. All right, so we have about 20 minutes left. So what I wanted to do for the next 20 minutes is actually go through the examples in Construct. Oh, and you can save your work, by the way, if you want. You can save it to Google Drive and reopen it back in Construct, back all in browser, which I think is nice. For quick stuff. Just remembering where we leave this little guy. Okay, that needs to be fixed. But yeah, you can save if you're logged into your account, you can save it. You can save as cloud save, or you can download a copy too if you like, and upload it later. Orange. I don't know if it's downloaded. Oh, it has. Cool. All right, and what I want us to do right now is go back to the start page. So say goodbye to all the work you've done after saving it, of course. I said go back to the start page. All right, so go back to the start page, and there are a lot of examples to work through here that have a whole bunch of different behaviors. Let me actually show you an example of what I ended up doing for a game jam. It was like, for inspiration, you can go through these little projects, open whichever one you want. They all use a bunch of different properties. And if you open these projects, they have all these little things inside them, and you can actually check how they made these. You can check what behaviors are done with this. So to make an endless runner, you have this bullet behavior and solid for this. So the bullet behavior makes something, well, I guess you use it for bullets or for anything which is moving like a projectile, I guess, but they cleverly used it for an endless runner. So it's a behavior which you can apply to different things. And let's see, the character behaviors here are basic platform behaviors. So this is just 3 different behaviors, and I'm guessing the events are mostly about repeating things and a whole bunch of math. But this isn't the point. The point is that you can look at these little projects and actually see what you would need to do to get things done. Yeah, so another example, so you can open whichever examples you want. I will show you a specific example. Where is the car one? Yeah, so this flying along thing, I think I was looking for stuff to use in a game jam, and I was like, oh, this looks really nice. This looks like something which I would want to work with in a totally different way. So if you open this little character, and you have to press space to keep him afloat, some little pig flying and avoiding cars, I believe. Yeah. So you'll have all these events here, and you can see how this works. And I think I used that for this other little game. By the way, yeah, my game jam games aren't so great. I make them really fast. But for this one, I edited that game, and it's kind of like a thing where you play one song that you're writing into the rapture or whatever. You probably can't hear the music, but whatever. But anyway, so I started with that template and I edited the behavior and just added things which would make sense to whatever I wanted to work with. And yeah. So that's typically what I would do for game jams mostly. I forget what I used for this game jam. I forget where I got this behavior from, but this is something else. Let's see, I think it's, oh, and also construct doesn't say fonts, by the way, if you publish them on web, just in case you make a mistake like I do. So this is kind of like skeleton, or what do you call them? Tentacles, yes, not skeleton arms. But this behavior is from the pin behavior. And it's stuff which I got from the template here. So what I want you guys to do in the next, oh no, only 10 minutes left, is just look for if anyone actually has a suggestion, look for any template, any of these templates, templates or beginner examples, or any behavior that you're curious about. And I guess one person would need to recommend one we can look at together. Yeah. Has anyone looked at anything?
I'm looking at the infinite jumping template.
Yeah, I was thinking that one's probably most on theme for what we've been doing today.
Mm-hmm. True. And yeah, it is on theme. I was hoping you guys would choose something different. Okay, but yes.
It's 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, it is 10 minutes. Okay. But I just want to open the driving one real quick because I thought, I don't know, people don't usually make driving games, do they? Oh, there's camera input here.
It's because it's not fun.
Not fun.
Sorry.
Yeah, understandably so. All right, just 2 minutes. I just wanted to look at the behaviors which are used here. All right, so here with the driving game, you would have the car behavior, but you would also have the scroll to behavior, which follows the player around. Yeah, it is really simple, but you can do a whole bunch of interesting stuff with it. But yeah, car behavior, scroll to behavior, which makes sure things are followed. I guess these are solid behaviors. Yeah, that's it. All right, so infinite jumping. Yes?
Yeah, I have a question for the infinite jumping one. I don't know how to make something infinite. Do you just spawn in more at set locations, or?
Yeah, so what you do to make something infinite, yeah, let's actually open the infinite jumping. Where was it? Was it in templates? Okay.
No, not that one.
Not that one?
It's not the one I'm in. I can go to that one, but it wasn't that one. There was another one a little bit further down.
Okay.
The other one's like vertical.
Oh, that one, but it can't. Can it open? Because I think I tried to open it before. Oh, this one, hey? Infinite jumping. All right. I don't know if this will open on my screen because I think last time it didn't.
If anyone opens this and doesn't fall for the giant play button.
Mine just automatically plays. It doesn't even let me press the giant play button. It's quite sad.
So you want to know how you would make stuff infinite for this? Like just keep going?
Because I'm looking through the events as well, and there's not much there, but Adna.
Isn't it just, it's probably randomly generating, let's see.
It could be probably a use of.
Were you looking at start screen events or game events?
Game events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Sikula?
I was gonna say probably it's the use of a trigger, like when you collide with a certain trigger at the end of the game view that you have, and then it respawns or it regenerates the same scene again.
Yeah, that is what it's doing. So in fact, the notes say here, so it destroys any thingies that aren't used, and I think it just removes them. So it adds a new platform as we're scrolling. It just creates a new platform in this random area as you go up, and when things go out of the screen, they're destroyed. So it's just like a continuous, what can I say? A continuous stream of platforms being created
Okay.
and being destroyed inside and outside the layout. So it's more like
Oh, there it is. Oh,
You
I
see
see it. Okay, yeah. Okay, cool.
Wait, I don't see it. Event number what on which sheet?
Two on game events.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. One's like rolling up to. Got it.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
And this is all stuff which you can, I mean, I think this was the best way to learn. And I think during the game jam, if you guys decide that you want to use construct, it'll be a good thing to do is like just explore the examples here and look at the event sheets because they actually have really good notes here. Yeah, this is totally new. I don't remember this. Is there any other event that you guys, any other template that you guys want? I think I'll look at two more before we go.
No, I'm all good.
Okay.
I think I want to sort of I want to troubleshoot why my character just disappears instead of mirroring properly. I don't know what's going on there and I'm confused.
Mohammed, how's everything going? Is Mohammed still here?
Everything's fine.
Cool.
I'm here.
Awesome. And let's see. Jean-Luc, Kay.
Laura.
No, it's going good. I might go over the recording later because I kind of got as far as with my project as getting a new sprite in, but couldn't really figure out the sizing and the animation thereafter. So I'll go back and redo, just like catch up on that bit.
Okay.
But yeah, this was really fun.
When's the next one?
The next
is it the
workshop,
continuation of this workshop or is it a completely different workshop?
it should be a completely different one.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, the next one I think we're probably going to do in about 2 weeks. I think we're going to do them in 2-week intervals until the jam. So I think the next one will be on audio and working in Reaper to create some sound effects for your game.
Okay.
And then 2 weeks after that, Baya will do a workshop on Twine.
Cool.
Yeah.
When is the global game jam?
It is going to be on the 25th of September until the 27th. So it's a 2-day jam.
Cool. Essay game jam or global game jam?
This one's essay.
Essay game jam.
Global game jam, I think, is again next year.
Yeah, it's usually the last weekend of January.
Cool. Do you have to work in it
For the Essay Game Jam, no, you're welcome to work by yourself. Yeah, either way. If everyone is not yet on it, I'll put the link in the chat again. We're going to be doing most of the announcements either via Twitter, but also then on the Make Games Essay Discord server, where there are a couple of channels for Essay Game Jam, and that's where we'll be doing a lot of the announcements and like chats. And if you want to connect with other people who have some experience in game making, or you might want to work with someone, or you just want to get access to the workshop links and that kind of stuff, you can go and check that out. So I'll put that in the chat.
Awesome.
Excellent.
Is everyone going to participate?
Yes. I will
Yay.
submit an abomination.
I think we all now know
I'll
how to make
force
some
other people to play it.
Well, at least the judges are going to have to play it, so you'll have a couple of
Yes.
eyes on. Cool.
True.
Oh no.
How to ruin your career in 2 days. It's
Got to start somewhere.
yeah, true. True. Yeah, I think I might use Construct. This looks. How do you export games in Construct? Are we going to?
Yeah, I guess we should have done that. Let me see. Open for cloud.
So I can start answering this question so long while you're figuring your way there.
Yeah.
Construct like pretty much natively builds to HTML5, which is really nice and easy for just putting it right in a web build on itch or whatever. But you need a bit of packaging to like export it as an exe and stuff.
Okay, so not too bad.
Yeah.
There's a couple
Yeah.
minutes on Google. Okay.
I mean, when you hit the play button, it's loading it in a browser because it's already built it to HTML5.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah,
very
and-
easy to send off into the world that way.
Yeah. So, I mean, when you're ready to build it, once you've changed all the game settings you need in your project property, change the name, all this stuff. Let's see. Yeah, you would change the settings to things like changing the name of the game, description, ID, author, email. Okay, you'd have to fill in all of these, change the loader style, and all these basic properties, and then I believe you export, project, export, and then you can export it as a web game. And when you do that, you'll get a zip file, I believe. It'll download a zip, and then you can upload that to itch. That's the easiest way to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all this stuff, and then you upload it to itch. Yeah.
Is this kind of scripting? Is the Unity visual scripting similar? Because I read something about Bolt being implemented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't tried it out, but I mean, I just know they do have the visual scripting out. I haven't tried it out. I don't know how easy it would be, but I know like people still find Unity intimidating to begin with. But
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Brackeys is the only reason I could get
oh my
something.
gosh, I know, right?
actual God amongst men.
How is that the default for everyone? How did brackeys just become a thing?
Quality. I don't know.
What's the username?
Brackeys. Brackeys.
Oh, okay.
Brackeys, yeah. He's got good thumbnails, I think is the. Oh, there's a new C# episode.
Yeah, this is for Unity videos. If you need help with Construct, I recommend the forum. You'll find everything you want in the forum, probably.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think
Right,
something
nice.
also nice about Construct as opposed to Unity is you can read something as like someone who doesn't really know Construct and it would make sense. But in
Mhm.
Unity it's like, make make a blank game object with this and this property, and make sure you haven't got this one and this one and this one. It's like, oh, I'm not sure what's going on. So this is really cool. Thank you.
I bounced off Game Maker. Just it's like it's nice to know that it follows broadly the same things. Like it's like this is a really legit. It's a legit game making engine, which is really cool. But yeah, the Game Maker presumes that you have any programming knowledge at all.
Okay. Is that Game Maker Studio?
Yeah, I think
The free one.
I sort of crawled through one of their little shooter tutorial, which is it's just a lot of slog for not a bunch of
Yeah.
reward.
You can just do it in 5 minutes in Construct.
Yeah,
Studio
that's crazy.
2 is better. Like Studio 2 has like added more like layer stuff and graphic stuff and drag and drop stuff. But the problem with Game Maker is if anything goes wrong, you can't troubleshoot it unless you can program. Whereas Construct is like you can figure that out. You can like work your way through it without like realizing, oh, it's like this one little line somewhere, or I don't know, you didn't close an expression or something. Like I don't know.
Yeah. You missed your semicolon. That's the.
Whereas Construct will be like, nope, you can't make this without that semicolon.
Yeah, which is what makes Unity an animal from another planet. Because if you can't debug your code in Visual Studio, then you're stuck, because it doesn't even allow you to play, at least even to try the game. If there's an error, that's it. You just have got to fix the error or comment it out and break a lot of things. But yeah, it takes some time to get used to it. If you understand, especially the physics, I like how it handles the physics. It kind of like does the physics for you, like the gravity, and then you can tweak it in your own way. But what I liked about this workshop is that it kind of like gives you, it preempts the thinking process of making games, and you can understand almost any platform. Once you go through the steps that are involved, you can actually go through a lot of platforms.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed it.
It was great.
That was great. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll probably use this for the game jam, and I'll be sure to submit that and send it through.
Nice.
Yeah. It's like we can blame you is what we're saying.
For the abominations.
Yeah, for whatever.
Can't wait to see the stuff.
You are responsible for whatever disastrous game.
We're gonna blame Sithe for enabling people to create games more quickly.
Absolutely.
I'm sure she'll be fine with this.
Expediting the process of horrible ideas. That's okay. That's good.
Just quickly before you all head off, I'm putting a link in the chat to a game that is coming out on Switch now, and it's been on Steam for a while. It's called Hypnospace Outlaw, and I think I saw yesterday that it was made in Construct. So just for a cool other example of stuff you can do in Construct.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, thanks so much, Sithe.
So you can also filter games on itch.io by platform, and there are a lot of Construct games there if you want just other examples. I mean, you won't have like the events to browse through and stuff, but other things of what people are doing with Construct is pretty cool.
Also on the Construct website, there's a showcase tab.
Nice.
Does anyone have any questions?
Thank you, everyone. I have to bounce off. It was nice meeting everyone. If anyone needs help with Unity or whatever in Unity and Unreal Engine, I just left my details there. Let's keep on connecting. It was good to meet people from other schools, especially people from Vega. Thank you so much. Hope to meet each other. I won't be able to join the SA Game Jam, but we'll be meeting on Discord.
Awesome. Nice to meet you.
Awesome.
Thanks for joining us.
Nice to meet you too.
Nice.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Cool.
Bye.
Yeah. I should also go. I have so much art to do. I need to make art for a card game, and it's very slow. So I'm going to be doing that. Yeah. Cool. Thank you so much, Sithe. This was great.
Thank you.
And thank you, everyone. Nice to meet you all.
Cool, you too.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Nice to
Cool.
meet you too.
Cool.
Cheers.
If everyone's
Bye.
good, then I think I'll also end the meeting there.
Yes.
and then-
Okay. Perfect.
Cool.
I'm gonna go troubleshoot my
Yeah.
platformer.
Awesome.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Good night.
Bye.